Hello and welcome to week 3 of AC1110 Accounting Fundamentals. Remember that the contact information is down here with the name and the email address as well as the phone number. Email address probably being the best way to contact me. We also have office hours on Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific. These are not required, but this is time that is carved out for you if you have questions at that time. It is in a question and answer format, not really a lecture format. So be ready for questions if you want to attend there. We have a different call-in number. It's different than the other phone number up here, so be aware of that. It does have a call-in number, and that is for multiple people to be able to call in at the same time. If we then want to, if we need to, as we go into there, we could then use the screen share software so I can work through some problems and show some Excel and work through problems together if we so choose at that time. So we'll first call in, and then if we need to, we'll use the screen share. Also remember that most of the assignments that will be assigned will have instructional videos along with them to walk through the problems. Many of them are housed up here, but I'm trying to move more of them to the YouTube channel here because it seems to work on more devices and with better browsers or different browsers. So if you wanted to go to the YouTube channel directly, it would be going to the YouTube channel here, and you could scroll down to underneath the charter and you want to go to AC1110. So if you scroll through here, this might be a way to just go through and take a look at some of the material in that way as you go. I'm going to go back to Moodle Rooms up top. I'm going to scroll down to the current week that we are in, and that week being week 3. So we are at the midpoint of the course at this time. The layout should be getting somewhat familiar at this point, meaning we'll start off with the objectives of week 3, the topics of week 3, and then we got the lessons of week 3. We're going to be covering chapter 3 and chapter 4. We started chapter 3 last time. We're going to continue chapter 3 this time. Chapter 3 is our major focus this time. Chapter 4 we will continue on next time. So we'll start it here, then we'll continue on it next time. You've got your instructional videos here that you can take a look at. Again, you could go to the YouTube channel directly to watch those or select these links here. There will be some repetition, and that's by design because we do want to go back to some of the material because it accumulates on itself, especially like this building blocks one. You probably want to watch that multiple times and see if you can pick up or have a better understanding of the relationship of the financial statements each time you watch it. All right, then we're going to scroll down and we have all the stuff that we need to do from the discussion forums down. So remember that everything we need to do is listed in this section in the Moodle Room shell. So although most of the work will be in McGraw-Hill's Connect up here, all the work will not be listed in McGraw-Hill's Connect up here. And although most of the work will be in McGraw-Hill's Connect up there, it will be all listed in Moodle Rooms. Therefore, Moodle Rooms is where you want to go through and check off what you have done. Now, I'm going to go through these line by line, but before I do so, I do recommend having a strategy such as this, and that would be that you want to get full credit on the discussion forums. That's 21%. You have the most control over that. Make sure to get full credit or as close to it on those. Then I would try to get as close to full credit on the assignments and the homework as possible. You have the most control over those. Now, I know there's a lot of homework and assignments, but there's also a lot of resources, so you shouldn't really get zeros on those. At least start them and use the resources to get what you can get done. And then go into the quiz, which is worth, the quizzes, the midterm, and the final are worth 33% of the grade. So if you go in there with a good point cushion total, you should have a good result on the quizzes, and or if you don't do as well on the quizzes, you should be okay given you get 100% on this and you get as much as full credit on these two as possible. I'm going to go back to Moodle Rooms. How do you get full credit on the discussions? You need to add content. You got to have at least 4 posts. Remember, the discussions are slightly different in that they accumulate upward until you achieve full credit. So there's no such thing as really a bad post or a post that is going to take away points. They can only give you points. Now, you could have a post that doesn't give any points, but they can only either give you points or go up. Therefore, I would post more than 4 times. I'd post like 5 or 6 times. Also note that the post needs to add material. So if you comment on someone else's post and you just say, I like your post, and then you kind of repeat what the other person had said, that's not really adding any material. And honestly, other instructors are actually going to say, we don't even want to see a post like that. I don't mind if you put a post like that in there, but it's not going to get too many more points. To get more points, we got to answer a new question, ask a new question, provide some kind of new material. Now, obviously, I'm going to put a lot more stuff in there, so don't be intimidated by the stuff we put in there. But those are opportunities to basically answer something that will, give the point total go upward. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to give enough information that people could get the full credit points. Also, I'm going to try to put in some quiz review stuff in there so to help out with quiz questions. So those would be good practice for the quizzes. So then we got the assignments. So the first assignment is in Connect. Remember, Connect is up here. So if we go up to Connect and we go into week 3, now I would actually do the homeworks first, but the way it's listed in Moodle Rooms is this is assignment. This is going to be the longer assignment. When you go in here, make sure that you use the paperclip. The paperclip's going to have an Excel sheet. The Excel sheet will have a good portion of the answer on it. So you want to open up the Excel sheet and then open this up. If you open up the Excel sheet, it looks like this. It's got these videos here. On this tab, it's got an example tab. It's got a worksheet tab. You do not need to do the worksheet tab. You need to go to the example tab. And if you compare this example tab to the actual problem, then the problem will be very similar in that the debit and credit account will be the same all the way through. So you can basically just data input that information in there. The numbers will be very similar, but they will be slightly different. So go ahead, you could pick up all these journal entries pretty much by following the format from this Excel sheet. So make sure to use that and pick up as many points as possible, although I know this problem is an intimidating problem. So I'm going to go back here to Connect. So that will be this item here. I'm going to go back to Moodle Rooms. Then we have the item that is in Moodle Rooms. Remember, this is Connect. This is Moodle Rooms. This one, you got to download this worksheet here. This is going to be an Excel worksheet. You need to work this worksheet in Excel. So I'm going to enable editing. Now this one's a lot smaller. There's only like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 problems that you need to do, and they're very well laid out on these videos. So if you click these videos, it'll show you exactly how to do that, and then you can work those problems. Once you're done with that, you want to go back to Moodle Rooms, and then there'll be a submit button once the week starts, and submit it into Moodle Rooms here. I'm going to go back to the cookie trail up top. Going to scroll back down to the week that we are in. So the next items that we have, we're going to have the homeworks. Those are going to be the Learn Smarts, in Connect, and the midterm. So you want to do these two. There's only going to be 25 questions. So once you're done with them, you can keep practicing them, but you only need to do the 25 to get full credit. Then you have the midterm. Make sure to do it by Sunday. We can't generally make up the midterm unless there's an unusual circumstance, which we take by a case-by-case basis. So if you have a problem, let me know, but otherwise, make sure to take the quiz. It's multiple choice. You want to get as many points on it as possible. Going back to Moodle Rooms, going to scroll up to the gradebook. Gradebook on the left-hand side, the green icon. Now remember that the grades are going to be due as of the end of the week. I have until Tuesday to finalize them within the gradebook. So for example, by the end of week 2, that ends on Sunday. By Tuesday, you probably want to go in there hopefully like by noon. And what you want to do is have a vision of what the gradebook should look like. You know what it's going to look like because you did the work and you've been checking it off in Moodle Rooms. Then verify that I have updated it in accordance with what it should look like. And if you have any questions, then let me know. So for example, week 2, the discussion forum hopefully should be 100% because you're shooting to get full credit on that, which is our strategy. And then you're going to the quizzes. We'll populate whatever it is in accordance with what you got in Connect. Same with the assignments and same with the homework. Now, if there's an assignment or homework that was not done, then what will happen for week 2 is that dash will turn into a 0. That's how you know it's been graded. Any zeros in the gradebook, you want to go in there and see if you can pick up the late work at that point. Now, the late work, as well as all the work through week 3, I will then fully implement the grade by the following Tuesday. So as of week 3, you want to pick up any late work that you can, any zeros that you have in here, try to pick those up, and then pick up all the work for week 3 by Sunday. Then I have until Tuesday following the week 3 work to enter it. Hopefully by noon on Tuesday I'll have it input, and then you want to check any late work that you have completed as well as all the work through week 3. Make sure that it has been populated in such a way as you have so visioned because you've been tracking it, and then let me know if you have any questions. And that's going to be it for week 3, so have a great week 3.